Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am here with a very special little thing that I want to share that I found at Target mainly. These things are available at other stores, but I just want to share because number one, Black History Month is coming up, and number two, today that I'm recording this is actually on Wednesday, which is Inauguration Day, and history has just been made by having the first female vice president, as well as a woman of color in the White House as the vice president. So a lot of firsts going on, and even more importantly, she is also a graduate of the Real HU, Howard University, which is also one of my alma maters as well. And so a lot of great things happening. And so with that, I wanted to share a find that I came across the other day. I was actually introduced to this by a friend of mine. Shout out to Fix It with Fran for putting me on to this collection. There were Mattel, the company that makes Barbie, has created something called the Inspiring Women Series. And this series includes basically trailblazing women of all different backgrounds. So it's not specifically one particular race or demographic, but these are women from across different fields, but they were trailblazers in their particular field or line of work, or maybe in a position in which they held. And so a few of them do include African American women that were first or trailblazers in their designated fields. So Mattel or Barbie has created Barbie dolls to commemorate and honor these women. And I came across 3 of the African American dolls in my local Target, or available on Target online. So when my friend sent me the link, it was actually for the Maya Angelou doll, which I think was one of the newest released. This series is not a new series. Some dolls have been out for a little while, and others are new. So I think Maya Angelou might be one of the newer ones, at least of the African American dolls that are in that series. So it was going around on Facebook, like, in those groups where people share different things. And so that particular doll, the Maya doll, was up there, and we were looking on Target, and it popped up. And then within a few hours, they had sold out everywhere. So they were saying they're not available. You couldn't order it online. It was selective, in store. There were none listed in the stores around me. So I was like, darn, like that doll was gone that quick. So then I started looking into the series just to see what other dolls were included in that series. And so I came across a few more that I was interested in, and also just saw some others that were available in the series. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So fast forward to a couple days later after that discovery about the series and the dolls, and I'm strolling into my Target, actually only needing one thing that had nothing to do with Black history or a doll or anything. I should have been able to just walk right in. It was a gift card. Go to the gift card section, which is at the front of the store by the registers, and walk out. But did I do that? No, because do we ever go in Target and get exactly what we need? Probably not. So I wandered over into the Black History section, because that is kind of like a feature section now, since we are approaching February and Black History Month. So I was looking at just some of the, clothing and apparel, and so I hit an end cap, and there they were, the dolls from the Barbie signature Inspiring Women series, and they had, guess what, a Maya Angelou doll. And so I was like, I'm about to buy this doll. I did not intend on spending the amount of money that I spent in Target that day, but I feel like it was well worth it to have a piece of this collection, especially since I knew those dolls were moving so quickly. And I do want to caution people who are looking for those dolls, beware, because there are people online who are selling these dolls, reselling these dolls for way over the price. And I understand that sometimes people do buy and resell, especially when it becomes like a collector's item or something, but as of right now, I wouldn't say that these dolls are in that category. They probably will be collector's items. And you probably, I mean, if you buy one and resell it, yeah, you can make more money than what you pay for it for sure. But it's not in that like hundreds and thousands range yet, because this is a relatively new series. But anyway, on to the Maya doll, and I actually ended up getting two other dolls, and there were more dolls in that collection that were African American, but one was not about to spend hundreds of dollars on Barbie dolls, because one, it's just me and I am getting them for collectors purposes, and two, I know that some of them will probably still be available later on, that they are still available, and they're easier to access, meaning like I can still go online right now and they are available, whereas some of the more popular dolls, I decided let me go ahead and order it or buy it now while I see it, because I don't know if it'll stay around or stick around to get it. The funny thing is, I did see a reseller for the Maya Angelou doll, and they were selling it for like $125 or $150 on Poshmark. And again, I'm not trying to knock anybody's hustle, but these dolls are $30.99. That is or $29.99. Some of them were $29.99, some were like $30. So either way, you're talking about $30 to $31. That's the retail value or price of these dolls. And that was on Target, that was on Walmart. It pretty much anywhere where you see it at this regular price, like that's sold by the actual store and not by like a reseller, they're like $29-$30. So that's the retail price of these dolls. So if you see somebody selling this doll for hundreds of dollars, if you want to spend $125 on the doll because you really want it, you know, for your purposes, and you don't know if you'll be able to get it, then totally understandable. But I'm just telling you right now, people are selling those, and you might have a better chance of still getting it in the store, or at least wait until February, because that's probably when they will start pushing out more, you know, things geared towards Black history or themed around Black history. So I would at least give it till February before you go out and get one from a reseller. So the resellers are, you know, racking up and taking advantage of people right now, but hey, that's what the game is. So like I said, I'm not hating on anybody's hustle, just putting it out there as a fair warning to people who may not be aware that these dolls are available and they're current right now, so they're not like something that isn't out. I'm sure there will be a limited edition in terms of how many are made, and once they're gone or once they stop making them, they're done. So at that point, yes, they will be, you know, worth more money, and of course you probably will have to pay more of a premium price to get them if they are no longer being sold in stores or by the original carriers at regular retail price. But enough of backstory, let me get into what I purchased. So three of the dolls that are purchased that were included in this series, of course I've already talked about the Maya Angelou, so I'll go ahead and show her because I think she might be the newest release. And if you're not familiar with who she is, and this is her actual picture here, and all of the boxes kind of look like this. I'll get to the decor. The name of the doll is on the side, or the name of the person that the doll is made after or designed for is on both sides of the box. And then it has a background that is relative to what they did in terms of in their career. So of course, if you're not familiar with Maya Angelou, she is an author, or she was, I'm sorry, an author, activist, and teacher. Her date of birth was in 1928, and she died in 2014. On the back, it does give a little bit of a biography on who she is, her dates of birth and death date if it's applicable, and a quote from that person, and then it just gives you a general little background on that person. So these would be great dolls for like a girl or a child in general who, you know, to help them learn a little bit about some of our famous trailblazers. And like I said, it's not just African Americans featured in this series. There are women of all nationalities. There was a Frida Kahlo doll. I think I always say her last name wrong, but you know, I love her. Her doll was not out in the store. I think she's been out, and I've seen it resale right now. She's still about $50 so. So I'll keep an eye out for her, but like she's available. There's a Susan B. Anthony doll, you know, so there are other dolls from other nationalities. They try, I think, to represent trailblazers that represent women of all colors, all nationalities, everything. So, but like I said, I focused on the African American dolls for now, but I may over time start to collect some of the others that just mean something to me or are people who I admire, you know, regardless of race or whatever. I admire them for what they did. So, again, biography, a short biography that gives kind of a highlight or summary of some of her key or major accomplishments in her life. And you also have, you know, another picture or actual picture, her name, a quote, info, and again at the bottom on each one you also have the picture, name, and then it gives like what she did. So here it says author, activist, and teacher. And this is again the Inspiring Women Series by Mattel and Barbie. The quote that they listed on the back said, "If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be." So I think that's a good one. And I think these are great for, like I said, encouraging young girls especially, but also any child that's just wanting to learn more about trailblazing women. But I think it's, in this day and age, it's especially important for young girls to have, to know about these role models, especially since they're no longer here, but their legacy lives on. So I think that would make a great deal. And she is holding a book. She has a library background. She's dressed in her African attire. I did have the privilege of seeing her in person when I was attending Howard University. So again, that's why it's the Mecca. That's why Howard is the real HU. And, you know, it is what it is. If you know, you know. But I did have the privilege of seeing her in person when she gave a speech. I don't even remember what was going on. One thing about Howard University, if you're not familiar with it, it's located in Washington, D.C., and a lot of celebrities and influential people have attended that school. So it is not unusual, if you're a student there, to see someone on the level of like Maya Angelou or, you know, Diddy or Taraji P. Henson or anybody, you know, out on the yard. You know, when you're out on the yard, walking across, going to class or whatever, they may be sitting out on a bench just chilling, and or giving a speech somewhere, or, you know, Felicia Rashad. Anybody could be there at any time, you know, just hanging out, visiting their old school. And when I say old school, I mean meaning the school that they made of where their major was. So like if they were arts major, they might be over there. If they were education major, they may be over there. Like Diddy was a communications major. So, you know, it's not unusual to walk into one of those school buildings or walk across the yard and see some celebrities there, and you get used to it. So it's like people don't just bum rush them or usually or anything like that. Word does spread pretty quickly that, you know, hey, whoever's on campus, but it's not unusual to have those people, you know, on campus, or, you know, run into them, or for them to schedule a time to come speak at different events. So at this particular time, Maya Angelou was speaking at an event, and I was able to sit and listen to her speak and just see her in person. And she was very, her presence was just something. So I'm very grateful I had the chance to experience that. So that is one reason why, or another reason why, I wanted to get her doll in particular. And hopefully if I can find another one, I will purchase one for my mom, because she's also a very big fan. The next doll, oh, there's one other thing I want to mention. These dolls, I'm probably going to leave mine in the box, but for those who may be collectors that have like maybe a designated space or a case or something that they can keep the doll in if they take it out of the box, they do come with a stand back here, like a display stand. So that's another thing just to keep in mind. If you are going to plan on taking the doll out of the box or sit it out on display, you do have a stand that you can use to help with that. The next doll that I purchased, and now she's been out for a little while. I think she actually came out when the movie Hidden Figures came out. If you're not familiar with that, I'd say check it out. I think it was recently on TV anyway. But again, that would be Miss Katherine Johnson. She was the NASA mathematician and physicist. When this doll came out, she was still living, but she has recently passed away. So doll on the back here, the information is not quite up to date because it says that she was born in 1918 and that she is to present, meaning she's still alive. However, she passed away, I want to say, in 2020. So, you know, she, just from all age, I want to say she was 100. She lived a very long life. So, at the time that the doll was released, though, she was the last remaining woman from that team that created or that helped launch the space missions at NASA. So she was the last person. Like I said, if you watch Hidden Figures, you'll see like who all the other women are and kind of see how that team worked together, and they helped put the first American up in space. So she was the last survivor of that team at the time of the release of the movie, as well as when this doll came out. But like I said, she, unfortunately, we lost her in 2020. So that her doll has already been out, and I haven't seen it before. There was only one of these in Target, and there was also only one of the Maya dolls when I was in that section, which is why I picked both of them up. And one good thing that happened is, like I said, I was in Target. Walmart also carries most of these dolls as well, and they had the Katherine doll, but they have marked it down. I don't know if they were clearancing it out or if they were just having a sale or whatever, but on there, if you go to walmart.com and if you're online, this doll was actually marked down to $18. So I was able to price match, because if you're not aware, competing stores, so like Target and Walmart are competitors, like they will price match as long as you can show them, you know, the product and the price. They will price match items. So I was able to get Katherine for $18, where, like I said, the normal price is $30. So almost half price for this doll. So I definitely was like, I'm gonna get this doll. That's meant to be because she's on sale. The quote that was listed here from Katherine is, "I ask questions, I wanted to know why." And I think, especially since there's a big push now to getting females, really people of color anyway, but females in particular of all races, into like the STEM world or STEM careers, STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, this would be the perfect doll if you do have a young girl in your life that may be considering that, or maybe you want to kind of give her somebody that she can look up to or learn about to maybe pique the interest even more. So this will be the perfect doll for that person. And again, names are on the side. Katherine Johnson. I love purple, is my favorite color, so that also works. The background here is actually a photo of like the NASA, like the command center on the inside. It's kind of hard to see with the glare, sorry about that. Also, she has her stand if you were to take her out the box. You can see Maya's arms, you can't really see as well, but on her arms you can see that they are bendable, movable parts. She has her ID, so they're very much in their likeness in terms of, like, you know, what kind of attire they would be wearing, or, you know, what they were known for. So very appropriate, I think, for the design. And again, her information here, photo, and again, Inspiring Women Series. So, and now after I finish this, I'll probably go watch Hidden Figures because it was a very good movie. I have shown it before to my students. I may do that again. I think I actually showed it during women's history as to one of my classes, so I may show that again during Black History or Women's History, kind of as a treat to my students, because right now we are virtual, but I, as an English teacher, I can make everything fit into the curriculum, so that might be something that they get as a treat. And my very last doll here is Miss Ella Fitzgerald, who was a jazz singer. And one reason I got this doll, other than the fact that I do love music, a variety of music and everything, it's because of this beautiful purple dress that she's wearing. So I don't know how well that shows up on the screen, but like, I thought, one, she was stunning between her nice hair and then her outfit. Like, yes, Ella, you are slaying, girl. I like it. She was born in 1917. She passed away in 1996. And again, she was a jazz singer. Her quote was, "Just don't give up trying to do what you really want to do." And I think what Barbie tended to do was pick these quotes that were kind of inspiring, obviously Inspiring Women Series. So I would say that that was a very good quote. She has her microphone, her dress. As you know, she was a jazz singer. And during her time frame, she dealt with, like, you know, segregation, and all of that, and racism. So, again, these were trailblazing women, so they didn't have anybody to look up to and say, well, how do I make it on this path? They had to create their own path. So again, very much someone to be admired. This is the back of her box. And again, her name is on the side as well, and she comes with her stand. It's kind of it's under her arm here. So just so you can see close-up of the detail, and I'll do a close-up of all the dolls just so you can see the detail. But again, these range $29.99, $30.99, so about roughly $30 per doll. Which, if you are familiar with Barbie, we know how Barbie can be. But that's about average for a special edition Barbie, to be honest. Alright, so again, like I said, watch out for resellers who may be hiking up the price, because these are somewhat limited edition, and some of them can be collector's items, especially since most of the people here have passed on. So that, of course, like anything else, once you pass away, your value increases. So just be on the lookout for that. But keep checking your Target, because I'm pretty sure, and Walmart, because they are available on both. I have seen them on Amazon, but not as original prices. I've seen them as reselling value. So I would say stick with Target, Amazon, places that would typically carry these Barbies first, and then to see if you can get them for the regular retail price. Just a couple of others I want to mention that I know for a fact that are out right now. Rosa Parks. Rosa was actually available in the Target that I was in when I purchased these dolls. I do want to mention I purchased Katherine and Maya in the store, and I had ordered Ella offline. However, they did have the Rosa, Ella, and Maya and Katherine were all in the store when I walked in, but there was only one of Maya and one of Katherine, so I purchased both of those. But they have about 2 or 3 Ellas and 1 or 2 Rosas, so those are still available online. At least they were, at least like yesterday, and so I think you can still easily access those two. And the Maya doll, I don't know why it flew off the shelf so quickly. It may have just been people weren't aware of these dolls. And so once it kind of floated around the internet, people, stocked up or racked up on it because it's a thing now. So I don't know. That might be why it flew off the shelf so quickly. But just want to put that out there again. Prices $29, $30. So look out for anything that may be above that, because it's probably a reseller trying to flip it and make some money. But if that's their hustle, hey, do what you got to do. And if you are comfortable paying that, just as long as you're aware that you are paying above retail, then hey, do that, especially if you have a child that you really want to get it for a special occasion or a time where you can't wait to see if it comes in stock and you need it. If I order it, at least I'll have it. So there's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, there are other dolls from other nationalities, other backgrounds. They just represent women in general who were trailblazers. So that is definitely something to look out for. I would recommend that series. I haven't purchased a Barbie in I don't know how many years. I used to collect the like yearly holiday Barbies when I was growing up. I still have some in my parents still have some in my house at home. They're still in the box, so who knows, maybe they're worth a little money. But one of the things that used to be an issue, and some of that I think has to do with where I lived, because I lived in a small city. We only had like one Walmart, Kmart at that time. Now we just have Walmart. Is that it was really hard to find when it used to just be like black and white Barbies. Like, it was really hard to find a black Barbie. So I know it used to be like really special for my mom or someone in my family to gift me with a black Barbie for a special occasion, whether it be my birthday, Christmas, or some other holiday in which you receive gifts. So my mom usually went out of her way to make sure that she could find the black Barbie. But a lot of times they were hard to find in my hometown. You could probably go to neighboring cities, which were a little larger, roughly about an hour away, and find them. They have more variety. And now the Hispanic Barbies have started to pop up on the scene. There was Teresa, and she's available in a lot of the collector's items when they do just the standard Barbies, and they're black, white, Hispanic. So, but those, again, you used to have to travel a little bit to find those, because in my hometown, a lot of times there would be like 1 or 2 of other ethnicities, and most of them would be the white Barbie. So again, nothing wrong with that. Doesn't matter if you're black or whatever race, and you buy or just buy the white Barbie, it doesn't matter. But I know a lot of times for younger children, the parents want the doll to look like them. You know, like anything else, you want your child to see themselves in whatever it is, but kids don't care. They play with whatever you give them, so a doll's a doll. But just for those people who do want to try and give children things that match who they are or are relative to their culture, then sometimes living in smaller areas, it's a little bit harder to find or get your hands on because they only get like one or two, or if at all. So that was just my reflection of a struggle growing up and trying to get a Barbie that looked like me, which goes back to the whole my VP looks like me. So now, you know, young women and girls have someone to look up to who is another trailblazer, and I'm sure she'll probably have a Barbie at some point, maybe even in this series, because she has now blazed a trail as being the first woman of color and a woman vice president. So once again, this is Marquita for Late Nights, Early Mornings. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow me on my other social media outlets, which are listed down below. And again, also the link to my blog where you can see more info, more product reviews, and just see more about things that I like. Thanks for watching.